You want to be hardcore, you want to be extreme. Well, if you're like the Sandman, then you're listening to the podcast Drunk Wrestling History, dudes. And please be drunk when you hear it.
We've got Bush.
I like to fuck. Do you like to fuck?
It's just money shots, chairs all over Barrett.
Those guys with Bang Bus think they're a big deal.
My dick is small.
Boy, oh fuck, dude! Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
You.
I love it.
That was our new season 4 intro. This is the first time either of you guys have heard it.
Yeah.
And I just recorded. I wish I would have started from the beginning of it, but I got video of you guys reacting to it. I'm gonna put that on Twitter.
Oh, dude,
I'll probably put it on Twitter that day. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was great.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, and I didn't put that reverb on that. Something weird happened. That's the way it sounded.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened.
That was a real
Yeah.
boner sound effect.
Totally. Yeah, and Carissa made an appearance with tits.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was from the amazing Valentine's Day episode from the show.
Right. That was when we did the
Fuck, marry, kill.
It was Tori Maurice, and Candice Michelle, I think.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Lovely.
Like,
Well done.
I want to point out, or not necessarily me pointing out, Carissa really pointed out and called us out for having a very sexual intro for being a wrestling show.
Right.
And going into this, I'm thinking, okay, maybe Eddie cleaned it up. We have more wrestling sayings in there. No.
No.
Double down.
No, I'm kind of a one-trick pony, to be honest.
Yeah. He just went harder into the sex. That's all.
Exactly.
Oh,
Well done,
boy.
dude.
So this
It's
is
a great intro.
Thank you. Well, Adam, introduce the show.
All right. What's up, Drunk Marks and Drunk Marquettes? Welcome to the Season 4 premiere of Drunk Wrestling History. Season 4. We made it. My name is Adam. I'm your designated host.
Threw you off, dude.
Yeah.
He's flustered.
Yeah, he is.
There's just so many sexual things in this head going right now.
Yeah. No more blood upstairs. It all went downstairs.
Work, damn it, work. And they are the legendary Drunk Wrestling Historians.
This is Eddie. I'm drunk, I'm old, and I'm fucking tired, and I work with fucking children.
And this is Scott, the man of 1,004 drinks.
Nice.
Excellent.
All right, we are ready to jump into season 4. We thought we'd get to this point.
Yeah, I mean, when we started this, I would have had, we've talked about it before. We thought maybe we'd do 25 episodes or maybe 50, and then we hit 100, which was crazy, and we should be at way more, but we haven't done them every week, but yeah, it's been a solid 3 years. 3 years of doing this, and I don't think we've skipped more than 1 week at a time. I think we've been at least every other week, and hopefully going forward we've been bad about doing every week. This should be the 3rd episode in a row you guys are hearing. Hopefully we'll have one next week, and we're gonna be on more of a semi-regular schedule, I think.
Yeah, we managed to keep this going through COVID too, because basically we started the show and 3 months later, boom, everything shut down. So, kudos to us. A nice little Barry Horowitz pat on the back, keeping this thing going through COVID and adjusting, because we always did it in person. We overcame, we persevered, and here we are, beginning of season 4. Well done, guys.
Yeah, and thanks to you guys for listening to the show. Like, if we didn't have any listeners, we wouldn't still be doing this. But
It'd be cool if you guys bought fucking shirts, but
yes, and left reviews on iTunes.
that would be great.
But but I mean, overall, like our downloads have just done nothing but get bigger and bigger. You know, we had a dip during COVID, of course, like everybody did. But I mean, overall, the show's only gotten bigger and bigger. So that's why we keep doing it. So we're glad you guys enjoy it. We hope we can make you laugh on your shitty fucking commute to work, or while you're doing something shitty at work, I guess.
Right. Or dropping a Tessa at work. Yeah, so you guys keep listening. We'll keep drinking. We're more over than Chris Masters, brother.
Way more over.
Especially in the very recent last few weeks, some new, very enthusiastic new listeners. So welcome all of you to this adventure that we have here at Drunk Wrestling History. Totally. First off, we mentioned that you need to get some fucking shirts. You could go to the fucking website, whatamaneuver.net, get those Drunk Wrestling History t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and onesies for the miniature Drunk Marks and Drunk Marquettes, especially in 6 and 12 pack. And if you have them coming out in 6 and 12 pack, thank you for listening to our show, Nick Cannon. But we want you to get that shirt to look like a true drunk wrestling historian. Whatamaneuver.net. Buy a fucking shirt.
Buy a fucking shirt. If you want more designs, buy a fucking shirt, and we'll make more designs.
FFS. And for a special show like this, of course, we have drinks at hand. What do you gentlemen have?
I'm drinking the beer that I've been drinking since the Halloween episode, the Hen House Brewing Company out of Sonoma County, California, Oyster Stout. It's a stout, like a Guinness type, but it's made with oyster.
So you've been drinking that since season 3?
I've been drinking it for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're a trooper, dude.
Yeah.
So I also am finishing off my beer from 2 weeks ago, the Belching Beaver Peanut Butter Milk Stout. I'm just about, that's maybe 3 more sips. And then I'm moving on to Quilter's Irish Death. It's a dark smooth ale that is called Irish Death, and it has a skull on the black can. So I think I'm in for quite a treat.
Yeah, I mean, if that'll kill an Irish person, it's going to fuck you up.
Oh, dude, yeah. Because I'm Portuguese. Like, that's going to kill me.
Yeah, right.
And I'm still finishing off some Teddy's root beer from Everett, Washington. All right.
Calm down over there, Adam. You're getting out of control, dude. Just settle down. Slow down on the root beer.
Too much root beer.
You got to work tomorrow.
That's true. Too much beer and all the blood is rushed downstairs. So
exactly.
Shit's about to get wild on this episode. Let's see. For our season 4 premiere, in the drunk fashion that we are and that we always intend to be, we are going to be covering a variety of wrestlers gone wild.
Yeah, so the idea of this episode is we've done, I think before, like our season 2 premiere or something, we did Greatest Drunks, or maybe that was some milestone episode. This one I thought we should do like story time with Drunk Wrestling History, where we tell some of the craziest drunk wrestler stories. So it's just times when guys were drinking and shit got out of hand, basically. Which is similar to the Marty the Party episode.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But not limited just to Marty.
Right. I don't have Marty on my list.
Same. Yeah, I figured we already bludgeoned him enough in that episode.
We honored him. What are you talking about?
Oh, good point. Yeah. We accepted him into the fold of us drunks.
Right. So I guess we'll do like we did on the other episode, just kind of go around the room because we each have a few.
All right. Well, you went first last time. Let's start with Adam this time.
Okay.
All right. Hold on a second. All right, to start off, I'm gonna go with our Olympic gold medalist that won gold with a broken freaking neck, the All-American hero that is Kurt Angle. I don't know if it's so based on your description of like, I just went with drunk incidents and details that I got from it, not like, but hopefully this covers it. Anyways, when he jumped to TNA in 2006, starting then, he was practically brought over to be the top guy, and if not, I would say one of the top 3 guys in TNA. I would figure if you're a top guy, you could probably afford to have a chauffeur or some shit. And especially if you're just going to be taping in one location, maybe you shouldn't be doing as much driving. But he managed to get 4 DUIs in 6 years.
Was he going for a record?
He was trying to beat Sonny.
True. Yeah. true American hero. He's gonna go for it. But
he's gonna be the best.
But holy shit, 4 and 6, and all right.
Damn.
Okay, and then one of those, I think the most recent of those, it was a show in Virginia. He got pulled over, got booked up. Case got thrown out because it was revealed that he blew .06, which is under the state limit of .08. So he managed to survive that one.
He skirted on that one.
Yeah. But still, that like being caught that many times in that period of time, holy shit! USA,
he wanted
USA.
a gold medal. Yeah, he wanted a gold medal in drunk driving, dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's the greatest drunk driver of all time. I guess he is better than Sonny, too, because he never crashed, right?
Well, no, Sonny's better because she actually took somebody out.
From everything that I've read, it doesn't look like he hurt anybody. Knock on wood. But, yeah, still caught 4 times.
Yeah. No, Kurt's wearing a silver medal in this one, dude.
Yeah, and like in a way, we really shouldn't be joking about that because like drunk driving is actually not funny at all.
No, it's fucking stupid.
And when Jeff got busted last time, I tweeted like, "Dude, I love drinking, but like, come on, that's not cool." But 6 times in 4 years, or what was it 4 times in 6 years?
4 times in 6 years.
Well, let's be fair to Kurt Angle. Uber wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't have a choice. I mean, not that I'm making an excuse for him, but look, like in current day, there's zero fucking excuse. Like, do not drink and drive today because fucking Uber's a thing. Lyft is a thing. There are so many options. Don't be an idiot.
There are now automated driverless cars that'll get you. Like, go old school public transit. Take a fucking bus. There's no shame in that. Yeah.
Or just get a hotel room. I've done that. There have been times I didn't come home from San Francisco before Uber was a thing because the train shut down at midnight. And I didn't feel like going home. I'm like, I'll get a hotel room for the night.
Get a hotel.
So
Sleep
there's
in
always
your car on the street if you have to. Do fucking something.
Yeah, so I almost feel bad laughing at him, but damn, dude.
Well, I mean, look, it's a drunk podcast. We're gonna riff. We're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, don't be fucking stupid.
Yeah, when you do it that many times, you're gonna get goofed on.
Exactly.
On a drunk podcast, drunk wrestling show.
On a drunk podcast, yeah.
All right, you want me to go next?
Sure.
All right. I'm going Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig.
Okay.
And of course, the plane ride from hell.
Oh.
Kurt Hennig got drunk. I mean, we've all heard the Ric Flair helicoptering story on the thing. Like,
right.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm going Mr. Perfect because this dude blew his chance. He had just gotten back into the WWE, was given a pretty decent mid-card run, but he got drunk on the plane, and he challenged Brock Lesnar to a fight. He lost the fight, but then he almost opened the emergency door on the plane. So in all of the casualties that the plane ride from hell caused, Kurt Hennig was one of them and was fired shortly after, like almost like the next day after the plane ride from hell.
Yeah.
And unfortunately passed away just a short time later, which makes you kind of question, had that not happened and he was still in WWE, would he have been surrounded by the guys that would have not allowed him to go down that hole where he passed away?
Yeah, maybe kept him in line.
Yeah, and so that you just start to question those kind of things, and it really fucks with your head a little bit. Like, damn, like all the what ifs. But Kurt Hennig made my list for that reason.
Okay. So I have one that's not related to that, but has sort of a similar incident. I had heard bits of this before, but I really just heard all the details a few weeks ago. I don't know how many of you guys are watching Tales from the Territories, but if you haven't been watching it, it's fucking great. It's so good. And I mean, I had to actually buy the TV show because I don't have that channel. So I had to buy it on Apple TV. It's worth it. It's like $20 for the season, worth every penny.
What's it on Vice?
It's on Vice, yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't have because I have YouTube TV, but it's totally worth the money. So I can't recommend it enough, especially if you actually have the channel, don't have to pay for it. So in your story, it was Mr. Perfect tried to open the door. Now they did that Dark Side of the Ring episode about the plane ride from hell.
Right.
And I think it was X-Pac, but it might have been someone else who was on the plane, said, yeah, Perfect was trying to open the door and we didn't realize it at the time, but it's impossible to open an airplane door while you're flying. Which I don't know if that's to do with just the speed of the plane. You know what I mean? Like you can't push it. Like try pushing open a car door while you're on the freeway.
Yeah, true.
You know,
okay.
so I guess it might be that. I don't really know. But whatever the situation is, Mad Dog Vachon did open a door on a plane.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so this was in the AWA. And Mad Dog was totally fucked up. Vern had bought, and this might be why it was different, he had bought like a low altitude plane. So it doesn't fly as fast, doesn't fly as high. So maybe on a plane like that, you can open the door, would be the difference. But so they were flying, I forget where they were flying to. I should have written that down in my notes, but who would want details, right?
Exactly. It's a drunk thing to do.
Yeah, so he was going to meet his girlfriend or his fiance's parents on the trip. Like they had a show in the town that they lived in. He was going to go work the show, go meet them, and then fly back, I think, back to Minneapolis. So he was nervous. So he asked Brunzell for something to help him with being nervous. And Brunzell gave him 2 Dexedrines, which are like speed, like prescription fucking speed. And I think he was like, take one, but then save the other one or whatever. Well, he ends up taking them fucking both. Then he drinks a pint of whiskey, I think before the show, goes and wrestles. And then there were a bunch of beers in the back in a cooler. They don't know how many beers he drank, but when they all got back to the back, the beers were gone. So he might have drank them all. Maybe someone else drank a couple. Then he goes to dinner with his fiance's parents. And he shows back up. So he comes back, meets them at the airport. He shows up and he has like, I think it was barbecue sauce and wine, red wine all over his shirt. So they don't know how much wine he drank, but he was drinking red wine. And he grabbed another pint of whiskey on the way back to the plane.
This guy sounds like you and Nola.
Yeah, right. So he's totally just wound up, completely fucking crazy. So he's on fucking speed. He's on all this booze. Greg Gagne gives him a joint to smoke to try and calm him down.
That's actually smart. Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't, I guess it's not enough. So someone else gave him a fucking Quaalude.
Oh, Jesus.
And I think he kind of passed out on the plane. He kind of passed out, or at least had calmed down. So like everything's cool. They're flying. And I think it was Gagne described it as it felt like something hit the plane while they were in the air. And then they turn around and Mad Dog had opened the door to the plane and he's got his ass hanging out of the plane. He's like dangling backwards from the plane, holding onto the inside with his ass sticking out of the plane. And they're, of course, they're freaking out. And then he gets back inside the plane and he starts throwing shit out of it. He's throwing people's gear and boots. And
dude.
Just tossing shit out of the plane. And then, he used to carry a chain. This part of the story seems a little strange to me, but I'm just going to assume it's true. He put the chain around his neck and he somehow tethered it to something in the plane. And he went to the door, leaned out of it backwards, just hung. He wasn't holding on with his hands. He was just the chain was all that was holding him in the plane.
Oh, dude.
So, yeah, with it being a lower speed plane and a lower, altitude and everything, I could see how it wouldn't suck him out. He could maybe do, you've seen those old videos of the guy standing on the wings of the plane.
Right.
So like the physics of it makes sense. That sounds so fucking insane. And that chain would have had to been, as fucked up as he was, he would have had to make the chain the exact right length. And you can't tie a chain into a knot.
Right.
So I don't know how he did that. I question whether that's true. But either way, it's completely fucking insane. So the pilot ends up making an emergency landing. It sounded like it was at an airport, just the wrong airport, because there was like fire trucks waiting and police and everything when they got on the ground. And the cops were going to arrest him, but they were like, fine, get his ass back on the plane, get him under control, and we'll forget this ever happened. And then they ended up strapping him to the seat for the rest of the flight.
Oh, dude.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that's my first one.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think we could just stop the episode right there.
Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So to continue with the episode,
Yeah, you're up next.
I mean, how do you top that? I mean, putting your life on the line, you're really affecting everybody else. That's fucked up. Okay.
I think I'm going to top it. But I think I might do my last two in different order because I think my next one isn't going to top it, but my last one might.
All right. You're up, Adam.
My next one, something that we did reference back in the season 2 premiere, and I want to bring her up again. Serena Deeb.
Oh.
If you remember, she was part of the Straight Edge Society with CM Punk and Luke Gallows. Shaved head and cleansed of the evils of everything out there, and just
Great gimmick.
yeah, just being straight edge. So she's found in a bar during this gimmick. And it eventually leads to her being fired or released from her contract for not living up to the gimmick that she is portraying.
That was the kind of thing that was over in Ireland or something, wasn't it? I think they were in Europe. I want to say it was Ireland. When it happened, but I could be wrong.
Oh, then God, the temptation is just insane then.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Even if you are playing a straight edge character, like, come on, you're in fucking Ireland.
That's the kind of thing where I could see, like, and then remember it was like they did that angle where Punk had been spotted at a bar when he was doing the feud with Jericho, and Punk was like, he was like, yeah, so what? I have friends who drink. I was hanging out with them. And it was kind of like, well, they could have done that with Serena. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
She was with friends, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been addressed that way. Oh, yeah, she was there, but she wasn't drinking. They could have even addressed it on TV. Oh,
Right.
Everybody on Twitter thought I was at a bar.
Right.
But that was the kind of thing that, to me, that was so dumb because I guess I can see her thinking where it's like, oh, it's not kayfabe anymore. You know, no, who cares?
It's not kayfabe, or if I'm at this isolated of a location, what are the realistic chances? This is like 2010, 2011, right before everybody having their camera or that concept.
I mean, that was the year of like the iPhone 3. You know,
everyone didn't have it.
No, but I mean, odds are someone in a bar is going to have a phone, camera phone, and
camera phones were already existing, so yeah, it makes sense.
But what I'm thinking is like they didn't have separate heel and babyface locker rooms anymore, so I could see the way she would be thinking, like, well, I don't have to live my gimmick when I'm not at work, but fucking run it by somebody first, you know, go to Johnny A's and be like, hey man, you know, some of my friends, some of the other guys are going out to the bar, can I go with them, or is that a no? You know, just ask the question first. But she was just like, oh, no, it's cool. And went out and did it. And, you know, it's the kind of thing someone above her wouldn't have gotten in trouble for it, you know, gotten fired. But, you know, she was expendable.
Right.
So she didn't have she didn't have the pull in the company to do something like that and get away with it. But that was just it was a stupid mistake.
Yeah.
Is all. But it was funny.
It's just funny as hell. And now she's one of the toughest wrestlers on AEW. She's the professor, the woman of 1,000 holds or 1,001 holds, and
she's great.
And like she's a heel, but God, I love her. She's amazing in the ring. But totally. But damn, what a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Adam, I'm glad you brought that one up because my next one actually kind of walks hand in hand with that one, albeit many, many years earlier. And this is the first time that I ever heard of wrestlers being bad. And in a place they shouldn't have been together. So I'm going the Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Jim Duggan when they were on what I would basically call a leaving Las Vegas car trip where they're both hammered and under who knows what substances or the influence of what substances, caught driving under the influence together.
Oh boy.
And at the time, this was like 1987, I think. And both guys were supposed to be in a feud with each other. Then they're caught in a car together, completely inebriated. Now, this is when like wrestling was still quote unquote real. This is when I was still not smart to the business.
This is not long after Stossel got slapped.
No, this is quite a while.
Well, 2
afterwards.
years. I mean, it's only 2 years after fucking he got hit, right?
I don't know, dude. I thought that was like 84.
Okay, 3 years, but I mean, you're
it's
talking the
about
same
3
era.
years. Yeah,
Right, you're talking the same era where a wrestler would slap a journalist in the head for asking if it's fake.
Right, exactly. So when you have a program on television like the top American babyface, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the top foreign heel, the Iron Sheik, they're supposed to hate each other's guts. They're not supposed to be riding down the road together, drinking fucking road beers, and doing lines of coke off the dashboard.
Oh,
well,
shit!
That's what these guys were doing.
Oh, shit!
This was bad for 3 reasons. Number one, we discussed it earlier, a DUI is never good. It's stupid. They were enemies in the ring, and the cops found coke in the car. The only one that really paid any price for this was Sheik. Because Hacksaw Duggan, we know, went on to have a great career in WWF and WCW. Mm-hmm. But this was kind of the end of it for the Iron Sheik. Like, I wonder if this is what kind of broke him and made him the madman that he is today on Twitter that we all know and love. Because, I mean, Sheik went on to basically not wrestle for WWF again, went to WCW for a cup of coffee, and that was it for him.
Well, he came back in the lead up to 7 with Sarge.
Well, yes.
But that was it. But
I don't even think that they referenced that he was the Iron Sheik.
They didn't? No,
like, he was just Colonel Mustafa. He was an entirely different character.
Well, because we were mad at Iraq that year instead of Iran.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That's just another thing, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, all-American, and yeah, just like mixing in with these actual existing world conflicts, that just makes it even more crazier.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me, exactly. When I read about this, I'm like, wait a second. These guys hate each other's guts. Why are they in the car together? Like, I remember being legitimately shocked that this happened. Like, just blown away. But hey, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
And you know what? I never thought about it till right now, but Sheik went in the Hall of Fame before Hacksaw.
Yes, he did. To be fair, though, Hacksaw had a longer career. So,
yeah,
timing-wise, maybe...
I don't know, because Sheik was around in the 70s. They might have had... Hacksaw retired later.
Well, I mean, he retired later, yes.
Yeah,
that's what I meant, is he retired later, so...
Right, okay.
In terms of getting into the Hall of Fame, that actually plays out right.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll get to my next one. I forgot to mention at the beginning, before I did my first one, one that I thought about doing... But we have like our 5-year, like we sort of have, I don't know if we've ever mentioned this, but we sort of have like an informal 5-year rule since it's a history show. We don't really talk about anything that's happened unless it's more than 5 years ago. But Velveteen Dream setting his phone up in the bathroom to record people's dicks.
Oh, dude.
That's a pretty good one, but it doesn't count, so I'm not using that. But that's a pretty fucking funny story right there. And he said he was drinking.
Yeah.
He said EC3 was doing coke. Which I was like, that's kind of a fucking dick move to put that out there, but I guess
totally.
But I guess I don't think Choose Your Own Adventure Wrestling is going to drug test EC3.
Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah, isn't that what it's called?
Choose Your Narrative, dude.
Oh, Choose Your Narrative. Okay.
It's not a which way book.
Okay. Okay, so my actual one is about Vince, Brett, Owen, and basically the entire roster. And Adam's pointing like he had this one on his list.
That was going to be my next one. So yeah,
okay,
overlap.
So I'll go over.
Yeah, I listened to this. It was Bret Hart covered the story from an Inside the Ropes event. I listened to it, and holy shit, it was brilliant.
Yeah, Bret's told the story multiple times. The first time I heard of it was when he went in the Hall of Fame. He told, I think it was when he went in the Hall of Fame. He told the story in his speech. But I also read it in his book where he went into more detail. He kind of glossed over it in his speech, but he goes into a lot more detail in his book. So basically the gist of it is they're working in El Paso. This is the day before WWE is going to start doing drug testing, because this is when Vince was in trouble for steroids. And so Brett and Owen show up to a strip club. They're in El Paso. And Hogan's there, Brutus is there, Legion of Doom is there, Anvil's there, Davey Boy is there, like everybody's at this fucking... Perfect was there. They're all there. So they show up, and here comes Vince. He says Vince's tie is undone, and Vince walks in the place totally shit-faced. I don't know where he had come from. Maybe like the hotel bar after the show. I don't know where anything in El Paso is. I don't know if the strip clubs are anywhere near the arena. I don't know if the arena's near downtown. Whatever the case was, Vince shows up to the strip club fucked up. Patterson's with him trying to talk him out of hanging out, but Vince is sort of... Brett said Vince wasn't known for hanging out with the wrestlers, But Vince was kind of like, dude, it's the last time we can hang out before I got to start drug testing him. so let's have a good time. So Slaughter offers to fucking basically chaperone Vince for the night. So Patterson splits. He's like, fuck this. This is a bad scene. I'm getting the fuck out of here. He takes off. So the most notorious part of it was where someone suggested, I think Hogan might have suggested, that the Road Warriors hit the Doomsday device on Vince. And before you haven't heard this story?
No, dude.
Okay, so before Vince could even really react, Animal gets behind him, picks him up on his shoulders. Hawk's on the fucking strip club stage, holding onto the stripper pole, and he's about to hit him, and he must have second thought it because Brett said he looked like he was gonna fucking hit him for real, and he just barely hit him. Kind of hit him soft. And when Animal dropped him, Hogan and Beefcake caught him. They were standing behind him, so they caught him.
Okay.
Well, after that's done, Anvil says something to Brett to the effect of, the Hart Foundation would have done it for real. And Brett was like, damn right we would have. So then they kind of get a look like, well, you gonna do it? And Anvil fucking grabs Vince, picks him up. He acts like he's gonna hug him, and he picks him up off the floor. And Hogan gives Brett a look like, do it. And everybody clears out of the way, and Brett legit hit him with the clothesline for the heart attack. Yeah, dropped his ass.
Oh, shit.
Dropped him on the floor. So now they've Doomsday deviced and heart attacked the boss in a strip club. So they stick around till the place closes.
Hold on. I think Brett's also said that when he went down to like check on him or get him up, Vince says, "You owe me a drink, pal."
That's right. That's right. He did say that because he ordered a double doers. I was like, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So by the end of the night, they're turning the lights on, trying to get him out of there. Davey Boy's got Vince over his shoulder, looking for a place to power slam him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and eventually the club ends up calling the cops and running him out of there.
This is 3 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever time strip clubs close in El Paso anyway.
Dude, this is like the bit after a match, like that they don't show on TV on Raw, where like everybody hits their finish on the big heel.
Yeah, right.
Like, holy shit, dude.
Right.
It's like they're running a train on Vince, but with finishing moves.
Yeah. So Brett said he loaded his car up with strippers, and nobody wants to go home. They're all like, let's go to Flair's hotel.
Oh, brilliant.
So they all head over to Flair's. He said it was 30 cars. I don't know who was in these. I don't know how many. He didn't have 30 names, but he said there were 30 cars.
With the police escort.
Oh, there was a police. Okay, I didn't hear that part. Okay, so there's a police escort. So they get to the hotel. They don't have a key, of course, but Vince fucking schmoozes the clerk, gets a key. They go up to the room. Flair isn't there. He's out still.
Oh, shocking.
Earl's there asleep on the rollout bed. So they wake Earl up and they're like, let's party. There's a bar in there, but there's just one bottle of vodka. So they just split the vodka. They all drink the vodka. Then they're kind of almost done. And then someone pulls out a bag of weed. So they end up smoking. So they end up smoking all that.
Brett said that.
Was it Brett's weed?
Yeah, I think like before the strip club, somehow he got his hands on it. Like somebody gifted it to him. And
I think
like,
he knew someone in El Paso.
Even he was calling every sign like, oh, this night is, even at the strip club, this night is dead. Let's call it a night. Let's call it a night. And here he is running back to his room, getting this pillowcase or half a pillowcase filled with weed.
Yeah, right.
Size amount, yeah.
Yeah. So then Vince goes into like Henning mode on the plane and starts wanting to wrestle people. He wrestles Henning. He wrestles Brett, and they both kind of went easy on him. Hercules is there, so he wants to wrestle Hercules, and Hercules apparently like tossed him in the air, and he bounced off the bed, and somehow landed on his feet.
Oh shit!
And he told Hercules, in the morning of I remember any of this, I'm going to fire you. And Hercules actually did get cut a few days later.
That's awesome.
But I suspect Hercules probably failed a drug test. It probably wasn't because of this.
Most likely, yes.
Right, because I mean, Hercules wasn't passing a fucking drug test.
Right.
Yeah, so I assume that's why he got cut. And then he finally calmed down when he started fucking with Anvil, wanting to wrestle Anvil. And Anvil kind of was like, hey, did you ever see Die Hard? Remember when Hans Gruber fell from fucking Nakatomi Plaza? And Vince kind of just backed off. And that was sort of the end of the night. And Brett said he passed out leaning on a stripper, which I imagine had to be a career highlight for him.
Dude.
But also, Brett says that for whatever reason, he started peeing on the bed.
Oh, that's right. They peed on Flair's bed.
Oh, dude.
I totally forgot. I forgot.
And I think it was like, maybe it was Kurt Hennig's idea, but Vince was the one that enthusiastically agreed and went for it. And I think he was able to convince like 3 others to do so.
Oh,
and
my
Flair,
God.
And Flair never showed up.
He was in full Nate mode.
He was Nate-ing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There was never an update on him.
And I think
That's awesome.
And I think Vince paid for the whole thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's it for that one. So that's kind of everybody going crazy.
What a boss.
Next WrestleMania trip, we need to book our room under Ric Flair, see what happens.
Shit. We'll stay at the Omni.
Damn. All right.
LA, you've been warned. Find us.
So, Adam, you want to go?
No, that's practically the overlap because that was my third one. So it's you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a quick one, and then I've got my last one.
Okay.
So this one goes back to, as Adam would say, the year of our Lord, 2014. And the game publisher 2K had just come out with WWE 2K14. And they're holding an event where Ric Flair is speaking, and Jim Ross is supposed to be in charge of him. Problem is, Ric Flair's hammered.
Oh, boy.
And Jim Ross can't control Ric Flair. So instead of holding Ric Flair responsible for the dumb shit he's saying at this company-sponsored event, the WWE fires Jim Ross.
Shit.
You want to talk about an innocent victim catching shrapnel. Holy shit, dude.
And I think that was the last time he got fired, right? Did he ever come back after that?
No.
Yeah.
That was that.
Yeah.
That was that.
Yeah, I wish I would have thought of that one because he talked about that in his book, and I could have gone in there and written down some notes about it because that's a great story. But I don't really remember much of the details. I mean, you covered basically everything I remember about it.
Yeah, but it's just one of those quick ones I wanted to get in between.
That's a great one
because it's so ridiculous that Flair fucking shows up. Here's Flair again. You guys had him in your story. Here he is Nate-ing again.
Yeah,
and he gets fucking Jim Ross fired.
Yeah, and it's like the company expects that from Flair, so they let it go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
Like,
Jim Ross, goddammit.
What are we gonna do?
He's playing his fucking Tom Brady card, practically.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
You can't fire Flair for being Flair.
Right, exactly. So my last one is, unfortunately, Jeff Hardy.
Okay.
And I'm going back to 2011.
You should have started with that one. Now we're gonna end on a bad note.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. TNA's Victory Road 2011.
Oh.
Yep.
Title match between Sting and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's your champion. Sting comes out first.
No,
They announced Sting.
I thought Sting was the champion.
Was Sting? Was he?
Let me look it up.
I thought Jeff Hardy was champ.
Well, it probably doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So they announced Jeff Hardy. He doesn't come out. And usually when this happens, you're thinking, okay, there's something going on backstage. He's been jumped. No, he finally emerges. And then when the camera pans in on his face, you can see he's fucking hammered. He's under the influence of something. So you've got Sting and Hardy in the ring. And Sting is very clearly perturbed. Bischoff comes out unannounced. And you think he's shaking hands with the competitors and offering his best. But in reality, he's giving instructions to both guys. Okay, here's how the match is going to go. Sting's clearly in no shape to wrestle. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put Sting over in a minute. So he changes it's pretty smart. He changes the match to a no DQ, which in case Hardy starts to go sideways, Sting can get a little physical with him.
Right.
And force the outcome of the match.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Hardy didn't do anything dumb. Sting hits a weird scorpion death drop for the finish out of the corner. Dude, Hebner threw up the X before the match even started. He saw Sting and he's like, oh fuck. Or he saw Hardy and he's like, oh shit.
As soon as he came through the curtain.
Yeah, Hebner's throwing up the X.
I've seen the match, but I've never noticed that.
Yeah, Hebner throws up the X almost immediately, dude. So, and that was the main event of the card. That's the last match. And so the crowd doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Like, even after he hits the finisher, it's like he either gets up or sits up like it was nothing.
Yeah, he's like, what did I do? What happened? What's going on, guys?
Did you just hit me?
Right.
What happened?
Luckily, Sting didn't need to, like, get physical with him. But he was really holding them down on that pin. Like, don't kick out, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Just take the pin. We'll figure this out later. But, dude, that was probably the height of Jeff Hardy's problems.
Yeah.
And if anything, this encouraged him to get help, and he's in trouble again. Oh, okay, so Sting was champion. Thank you, Adam. I thought Jeff Hardy was champ going into this. So Sting was champion. Jeff Hardy was the challenger.
I mean, either way, based on this match, I mean, it was a championship match, but we know what we were covering. Yeah.
But I wonder what the outcome would have been. Like, was Jeff Hardy supposed to go over?
Yeah, maybe.
And did he completely fuck it up? So, I mean, now you fast forward to 2022, the dude still has problems. So you can only hope, 11 years later, he's finally able to get the help that he needs.
I hope so, yeah.
And then even in storylines back when he was with WWE, remember he had his 20-year wrestling anniversary. Everybody's on the stage congratulating him, and then here comes heel Samoa Joe. Hey Jeff, let's have a celebratory drink. Oh wait, that's something that you do in your past. It's like
harsh.
Yeah, and then Sheamus doing, or in the Thunderdome era, having his bar fights with him.
And they had him crash a car too.
Yeah,
That's right.
Or a car was crashed and you were led to believe it was him. I don't remember how that angle ended up turning out. I think it wasn't him, but it was like, for 3 weeks or whatever, you're like, oh fuck, he got drunk and crashed a car on the way to SmackDown.
Right.
It's weird because you want to think that Jeff had cleaned himself up, and these storylines happen with his permission. Because he knows that he's not going to be going that road, but unfortunately, here we are now with his AEW incident.
Right, and wrestling has never shied away from leaning into those angles too, like real life problems becoming, a wrestling angle. They did it with Scott Hall, they've done it with Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, you name it. They've leaned into it. But yeah, I mean, real life comes in, and you're like, okay, let's hope he gets the help he needs finally. You know, because how many times do we need to see something like this?
Right.
It sucks, man. And the Hardys have been so successful. They've been going since, 97, 98?
Yeah.
And they're still as over today as they were back then, if not more so. They still sell a shit ton of merch, video games, toys, cards, you name it. They're on all sorts of merch. They still sell a shit ton. And you hope that they can get it together because, honestly, they're, if not one of the best tag teams of all time, the best tag team of all time.
They're up. I mean, they're in the conversation.
Oh, totally. I mean, that's not my pick, but if somebody were to say that, I couldn't argue with them. But let's hope he gets the help that he needs.
I would say of the modern era they are, because there are tag teams that are back in the day. I mean, it just tag teams are different.
True.
I mean, there were guys like that would be like on the top of the card for 3 years in a territory.
Right.
But like in the modern, from Vince buying the company on, in any company, I would say they're right up there,
Yeah, totally.
They've had a longer run than the Road Warriors did.
Oh, they 100% have, yeah.
They've been apart, but, they always kind of would most of the time they were in the same company, and they would get back together. So, yeah, I mean, they're definitely in that conversation.
And there's a reason for that they're always getting back together because promoters are like, you guys are going to make us a shit ton of money, go tag for a while.
Yeah.
It's like there's always a demand for them.
Oh, totally.
Don't blame
absolutely,
them.
100%.
Because even to this day, I would love to see them together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you got into that, I said, oh, now we're going to add on a sad note. I actually forgot that I had one more. So I think the oyster beer is starting to work. And I have a happy one to end with.
Oh, you're giving us a happy ending. Thank you, Eddie.
I'm giving all the listeners a happy ending.
So relieved.
So mine is about Dr. Jerry Graham. And I've mentioned this briefly on the show before, and I don't know if either you remember or you have any idea where this is going. But Dr. Jerry Graham was a guy from the old days. He started in 1942 when he was 14. So he's like not quite Pioneer days, but the next generation after the Pioneer days. Huge tag team wrestler. That's why I was kind of saying that about tag teams. He and Eddie Graham were a tag team. They weren't real brothers. It wasn't either their last real name. And then they actually had the whole Graham family, which Superstar was brought in as Superstar Billy Graham, part of the Graham family.
Okay.
And there was also Crazy Luke Graham, and then there was like a couple other ones like Luke Graham Jr., like lower level guys. But he was a huge star, specifically in LA and New York. He, one of the most famous things he did early on, or I shouldn't say early on, probably 20 years into his career, was he started a riot at the Garden when he and Dick the Bruiser had a match against Argentina Rocca and Edward Carpentier, where after the match, they jump him. They're in the main event. He was a heel. They jumped the baby faces. He bladed himself, and I think the story might be that he bladed Rocca without Rocca telling him to. And shit just went crazy, and the fans charged the ring and start throwing chairs. You always hear about those riots in Memphis and the Cow Palace, but the Garden wasn't known for riots, so this was pretty notable event. It ended up getting like mainstream news attention, and they all got fined by the Athletic Commission. I think Bruiser wasn't allowed to wrestle in New York after that.
Yeah, it was still real to them, damn it.
It was still real to them, damn it. Yeah. So anyway, he liked to drink. He was Vince's favorite wrestler. The guy was a party, and he was one of those guys who was like, hey, he was like kind of like Ric Flair. He was like, he drove around in a bright red Cadillac, and Vince would roll with him when he could. His dad didn't really want him to hang out with him, but he would once in a while. Also, by the way, Cornette on his show this week, which would be, I guess, 2-3 weeks ago when you're hearing this, did a really good segment on Jerry Graham and Eddie Graham. So if you haven't heard this, I was already planning on talking about this when I heard that. And he had a couple more little tidbits. So if you want to hear more about both of them, check that show out. It's be like 3 weeks old. Anyway, he would drive around in this red Cadillac, and he would light cigars with $100 bills.
Shit.
You know, shit like that. Like he was just like burning money because he was a fucking party and he was making money. Anyway, 1969, his mom got sick. They were super close. She was in the hospital in really bad shape. He gets drunk. He calls the doctor and threatens to kill him if she dies.
Jesus.
She ends up dying. He gets the call. He probably was already drinking, but whether he already had been or he started then, he gets shit-faced, shows up to the hospital with his 12-year-old son, a knife, and a sawed-off shotgun.
Damn.
Fuck.
Yeah. He charges into the hospital. He pushes a nurse down, beats up a security guard, and he grabs his mom's body. Somehow he ended up finding her on a stretcher. He grabs her, throws her over his shoulder like a caveman, and he's going to steal his mom's body.
Damn.
Yeah. On his way out, he ends up knocking down another security dude and dragging him across the floor while carrying his mom. And I don't know how I don't know if he threw the gun and knife down or the knife was strapped, the knife was on his hip and he
The 12-year-old's carrying it for him?
The 12-year-old's the 12-year-old might be carrying the weapons at this point. The cops end up showing up and they storm the place and they arrested him. They got him. Luckily, nobody got killed. Well, his mom died, but there were no murders.
Okay.
Yeah, they arrest him, and he ended up getting put in a mental hospital instead of prison, which I feel like it had to be a pretty easy case to make that he was insane because he was trying to steal a dead body.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that to me, I always thought I heard this years ago, and I was like, this is the craziest drunk story I've ever heard in my life.
Damn, there could have been a real life Katie Vick situation there.
Maybe that's what he was after.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I read that he was pissed at her too, but I don't know if he was pissed at her after this when he found out, because she apparently, his whole career, he was sending her back money, and she had a good amount of cash. And he was pretty broke at this point. Like his career was kind of, if it wasn't over, it was winding down.
Okay.
He didn't have any money. And his mom had like $500,000 or something, and she gave it to the fucking church instead of giving it to him.
Oh, dude.
And some of that money was money he'd been sending to her through his career. So he was pissed. So I don't know if he knew that before this and that's why he stole her body, or he found that out after, But I mean, I guess it probably wasn't that, because he did call the doctor saying he was going to kill him if she died. So I think he just got drunk and fucking snapped.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
Up.
Yeah, there was a movie. I meant to look it up, and I just did a shitty job of doing notes. There was a movie about that. It was some fucking musician stole like his brother's body or something like that. Johnny Knoxville was in it, I think, if I remember right. I want to say it was Glenn Campbell, but I don't think it's Glenn Campbell, because Glenn Campbell's that's the Rhinestone Cowboy, right?
Oh, you got me, dude.
Is that Glenn Campbell? I'd have to look it up. I'll try to remember to put it in my notes for next recording because it was a really cool movie, but it was like a true story that happened. And I'm pretty sure Knoxville was in it. And it was about some singer who went and stole someone's body from the hospital after they were dead.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was completely insane. And I think they didn't even have a plan for what they were going to do. If I remember, I saw it a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I wish I could think of who. I can't think of who the damn musician was, but yeah. So that's it for Jerry Graham.
Wow.
That's
a happy ending.
That is a happy ending. Yeah. I mean, not for the mom.
Yeah, or Jerry Graham, or probably his kid. It was a happy ending for the Baptist church. They came up on $500,000.
Silver lining, apparently. That's the happy ending if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
That takes care.
I think that's it.
That
right?
takes care of our season 4 premiere of Wrestlers Gone Wild, especially with that one. That's Wrestlers Gone Really Wild. What did you think of these stories that we covered? And did we miss any? Please let us know on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, wrestling_drunk. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and tell everyone you know about our show, all family, friends, heels and faces. Tell them to smash that subscribe button and leave reviews on iTunes and wherever you get your podcasts. Definitely want to hear from you so that now for the 4th season in a row, we could keep this drunk wrestling adventure going. And we certainly intend to do that for this next season. On behalf of Scott and Eddie, I'm Adam, reminding all of you to enjoy your buzz, watch wrestling responsibly, drink like nobody's watching, and we will see you all next time for another great episode. 1, 2, 3, drink up!
Season 4, sucker.
Nate.
We could just go home right now, or maybe we could stick around for just one more drink. Oh yeah. Get another bottle out, let's shoot the shit. Sit back down for just one more drink. Oh yeah. Here's to us.